people, honestly, I feel like they're taking social media way too serious. They're treating it like they're doing some freaking political statement. It's a tweet, my guy. Relax. It ain't that serious. Go spend some time with your family. Like, I don't know, play something. I'm a bird, mother. I'm a bird. Dev has mental breakdown over Asmongold.
I'm not surprised.
Honestly, same. Like, I feel like some developers are acting so absurdly deranged these days. You say anything negative, even if you play the game for 60 hours, and you say something negative about the game, and if you're a person that has an audience, they will have a full mental breakdown towards you. And they will blame you for their game not performing.
So we've got quite the situation going on here, where a self-proclaimed audio and music dev at Ron Gorgon had a complete mental breakdown over Asmongold reacting to a video that I made. And for those that don't know, Ron Gorgon is the developer studio behind the game Mouthwashing. Before we talk about this guy's bizarre...
Wait, I was watching a video about mouthwashing today, where they were drawing, like, a lot of fans were drawing the character called Anya from the game.
Rant, his mental breakdown. Let's talk about how we got here to begin with. It all started around the middle of November, when a number of fan artists making fan art of this game Mouthwashing, and specifically the character Anya, began to get harassed by the Twitter police. They were all offended over how these artists depicted Anya, saying that they were sexualizing her.
Yeah, so it was this game, the stuff I was checking out today. Like, it's literally people were making art to show how much they're liking the character called Anya. And honestly, by this point, you can predict what kind of people will be attacking that artwork.
That was justification to harass these artists. You know how these sort of Twitter police can be. Very pathetic behavior. Also, keep in mind what I'm saying right now and showing you right now is a very quick TLDR version of the full video that I made that's around the 9-minute mark. So you're going to be missing some context if you haven't seen that, but this is essentially what happened. So the harassment proliferated so much that the devs actually issued an official response on their dev account, going on to make this tweet that reads, "Some mouthwashing fan creators have been receiving harassment over works that others have found distasteful. If you see fan works that you don't like, block or ignore it. Any form of harassment is unacceptable. If you can't be respectful and considerate, this fandom is not the place for you." Except as mentioned in the...
I do have to underline, if you're bothered with artwork proportions, and you feel attacked by artwork proportions, you might not want to use social media or the internet.
In the intro, there's a bit of a plot twist here, as one of the devs apparently thinks that the real problem isn't those Twitter police who harass artists. No, apparently to him, he thinks the real problem is people like Asmongold and myself and anyone who stands against the harassment. Because Asmongold would go on to react to the video that I made.
Wait, so Asmongold is catching strays because he thinks people shouldn't be harassed?
That's crazy. No way.
Guys, I understand hating someone, but if you want to create an actual hate campaign on someone, at least pick a valid reason, not because a person is against harassment.
Covering that situation. To which that audio and music dev at Ron Gorgon, Martin, then made this tweet. "The anti-woke crowd has found the game, and I feel sick to my frickin' stomach. Being on Twitter is going to be unbelievably painful from now on, that I don't know if I can be active on here. I don't have the energy for this."
Does Martin understand that he's providing a public product? You cannot have 100% only positive things being told to you or said about you.
He also included an image with his tweet, the image showing Asmon's video reacting to my video. That Martin guy also having even more to say. But real quick, let's pause and talk about this tweet. So first of all, he's saying that the people who are against the harassment are quote-unquote anti-woke. But again, as I mentioned earlier, that's what's upsetting him, and as you can clearly see from his
The people who are against the harassment are anti-woke. Can you explain that to me?
No, I can't explain it because it's illogical. It just doesn't make sense. Like, if being against harassment means you're anti-woke, then I might as well be anti-woke, because harassment... Hell, even... Wait, hold on.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to understand. So
Isn't...
being anti-harassment is being anti-woke. What?
But even the woke people literally condemns harassment.
tweet, which which therefore also implies that the people doing the harassment are the so-called woke crowd, once again, as he's basically putting it, and those are the people, that's the crowd that he wants to defend. It's such a terrible look that I have no idea how he doesn't realize that. There's like zero self-awareness here, which is a recurring theme from people like this, as you've probably noticed from this situation and so many others. And then he goes on to say that being on Twitter is going to be unbelievably painful from now on, that I don't know if I can even be active here. Bro, you're—
Then don't.
Yeah.
If you're a person who is supposed to be in the public eye and you put yourself in the public eye, and being in the public eye is too painful for you, don't.
You're a grown man. You really gotta talk like that. Being on Twitter is unbelievably painful. These people often like to throw around the word privilege. Bro, you sound so privileged that this is like what's unbelievably painful in your life is, I don't know if I can use Twitter or not. And then going on to take it further and say that he doesn't have—
Yeah, like, if that's your main pain in life, I gotta be honest, you have a very privileged life.
privilege. Bro, you sound so privileged that this is like what's unbelievably painful in your life is, I don't know if I can use Twitter or not. And then going on to take it further and say that he doesn't have the energy for this, quote, I don't have the energy for this, unquote. He really doesn't see how pathetic this all sounds, seriously. The whole thing is just exceptional. I really hope that the other devs working on this game are nothing like this guy, and I say that for their own good too, because anyone who acts like that is probably miserable. Martin has since locked down his entire account and apparently fled over to his Blue Sky account. But before that, someone responded saying he, that being Asmongold, seemed interested in the game and said he'd play it after hearing about the controversy. So I'd say the more people experiencing your art, the better, even if you don't like them. To which Martin said, anti-woke means anti-gay, means anti—
That's not what it means. And again, cannot speak for everyone, but a lot of people who are anti-woke, their problem is not people who are attracted to the same gender. Their problem is with the forced changing of characters in games or shows. That's usually what their problem is.
me as a dev. I've seen that dance many times before. I do not want him playing it, regardless of exposure, because it's making me feel like absolute crap.
Okay, this is another thing that really bothers me about these people. If you're talking about someone, at least grow a spine, a backbone, and actually say their name. Don't just go he, him, they, who the hell knows. Actually mention their name, because you just look spineless.
Someone else saying, it doesn't mean that though. I don't know why you've made up this evil image of something just to be afraid of. So on top of everything else, this guy's also extremely selfish. He's actually mad about the exposure, as he puts it, which between my video and Asmon's video, we got this game around 1 million free views. On top of potentially even more if Asmon did buy the game and play it on stream, etc, etc. And of course also all these potential new players who might enjoy the game. But he's willing to say, screw all those people, screw all these potential new players, because it makes him feel like trash. Which obviously is also not a good thing for the game and the dev studio either, all because of how it makes him feel. And people like this are actually what harms the LGBT community. Dude acts like some completely unhinged, selfish weirdo, and then simultaneously puts the pride flag in his bio and has to tell everyone that he's gay. If he really cares about those people, you would think that he wouldn't want to make some public spectacle of himself like this. But then again, if there's one thing we can say, at least he's being honest, I suppose, because he never said he cares about the LGBT community or other gay people. So it's not like he was pretending to care about those people. No, he's been very clear. All he cares about is himself. He made everything about him. Before he protected his whole Twitter account, this was a rather interesting exchange as well. Someone said,
So he went on full on protected, like all the other people who had a public meltdown.
dude, I had a huge feeling the wrong crowd of people were gonna misinterpret the tweet that Wrongorgan made. Maybe you guys should make another tweet clarifying more so people like this don't invade our community and such. Which got a response that reads, nobody misinterpreted it. Wrongorgan said to not harass artists in the community over their creative works. Asmongold held the same position. It's the audio designer that needs things clarified to him. He has no idea what's going on.
So it's not the developer, it's the audio designer. He cannot read. Wrongorgan and Asmongold had the same position on anti-harassment. The audio designer is the one who had a full meltdown, not understanding anything. What's going on?
Similar to Martin, you gotta love how these people think the so-called wrong crowd are the people defending the artists. There is, however, one thing I disagree with in Omni's response, that being where he says Martin has no idea what's going on, because it does seem like he knows what's going on. He just doesn't care. And returning to this tweet that we read earlier, there's another response I want to take a look at where this person says, people like him, that being Asmon, shouldn't be here. He and his grifter bros are spreading anti-woke rhetoric, which includes anything quote-unquote progressive. And that takes me...
I'm not gonna pretend like I am like the historian of Asmongold, but what I've seen, Asmongold, even though sometimes he doesn't like games or the premise of the game, he still sometimes plays, actually most of the time he still plays it. He even has more hours than some people who even worked on Veilguard. He had still more hours than them in the game. His usual justification for hating the game is he doesn't like the premise of the game, he doesn't like the dialogue of the game, he doesn't like the technical part of the game. But he still puts himself in a position of playing the game to actually understand if the game is good or not. People saying that he shouldn't play the game, he'll bring in the wrong crowd and all that stuff. I think it's a huge what's the word? It's just stupid to think that just because he'll play the game is gonna bring in more haters. It actually will bring in more money. It's gonna bring in more people.
Yeah.
If a person doesn't like the game, the person doesn't like the game.
Mm-hmm.
Who the hell cares? Are we actually reaching the point where if a big content creator doesn't like the game, he's like the big bad wolf now?
Me to this recent tweet that Asmon made regarding the word grifter, and all this seems to apply to that response and so many other things, which reads, recently I've added the word grifter to the long list of words that, when used, I take the person using it less seriously. Formerly a word used to define a scammer is now redefined with the intent of character assassination towards anyone whose opinions differ from their own.
Yeah. That's literally how the word grifter is used now. I've been accused of being a grifter so many times now.
Yeah, to this day, I still don't know what grifter means. It's just so broad term now, like they changed the word.
Because it lost all its meaning. Now, people have accused me of being a grifter just for having a game preference. Like, you having an opinion, you having a preference, for some people, now it means a grifter. Like, that word lost every single meaning.
A response reading, it joins the long list of words that don't mean anything more, like racist, sexist, Nazi, etc. It's just a mindless epithet morons use to shut normal people up. To which Asmon then responded, saying, yep, NPC dialogue option. And I believe...
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is now.
I believe Asmongold also said something similar in the video that he made regarding the God of War director David Jaff, and how David Jaff made a video titled, Did YouTube Grifters Kill Dragon Age? And I found Asmon's breakdown of the word grifter particularly interesting, because around 2021...
So they're saying the YouTube grifters killed Veilguard. The only thing that killed Veilguard is Veilguard.
Yeah.
They made the most unlikable characters. The script was like written by a freaking 12-year-old writing a fanfic.
There were no actual choices. It was a very linear game compared to other Dragon Age games, which was literally free. You can be evil, you can be good, you can be neutral, be what the hell you want.
There was this very odd person who tried to literally cancel me, and I'm not saying that loosely, like he was trying to get people to unsubscribe from my channel, in which he attempted to make the argument that I was a grifter. And similarly to Asmongold, I came to the conclusion that this word was being used extremely frivolously. There was also a great level of irony too, because the person who was all mad at me was actually fitting the definition of grifter more than anything that I did, as this guy was making a very dishonest video about me and then trying to get people to pay him via his Patreon account, even going on to say that if people were to give him money, he would be motivated to make more videos. Basically more dishonest hit pieces, as we see from people like that, people like David Jaff, and people like this.
It's right away a red flag if a content creator says, oh, if you give me more money, I'll make more videos.
That's the biggest eek.
Martin dev person. There's such a lack of self-awareness that, as I've said before, it's just astonishing. And in conclusion with Martin, as you know, he's protected his entire Twitter account and seemingly fled over to Blue Sky, but even on his Blue Sky account, he doesn't seem to currently be active. So I don't believe there's any further posts to take a look at least as of the recording of this video. If he's really taking a social media break entirely, hopefully he can use that time to have some self-reflection and realize that what he was doing was only causing negativity for himself and everyone around him too. But let me
Yep.
know what you think about this situation in the
God damn, people are so out of touch these days. It's baffling to me. People, honestly, I feel like they're taking social media way too serious. They're treating it like they're doing some freaking political statement. It's a tweet, my guy. Relax. It ain't that serious. Go spend some time with your family. Like, I don't know, play something.